Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here today. We're going to take a quicker look here at LRC, Loopring, once more. I've been covering this a lot more lately just to ensure that we all stay in the know. When coins go kind of crazy like it did recently, we need to make sure to keep a closer eye on it, right? So that's the main reason for my community members, my patrons, etc. Thank you for requesting that I cover this more consistently. Also note, if I'm not, I'm not a financial advisor, right? By any means, I am actually a big time trader though. I've been trading for like 15 years and my goal is to help you become a better trader, right? So just keep that in mind. Also know I have a trading community. That's the whole reason why I created this channel essentially, is to help kind of build a community together that of like-minded traders that want to grow and become better. So we're all learning and growing together. It's a really awesome experience. Check that out. I actually send out signals as well as an added bonus for every single trade that I take. So you kind of can follow along and make sure you know exactly what that looks like. Now looking at LRC here, first of all, 1 day chart. We're just taking a quick look, of course. Now, first thing to preface, we have these previous 3 white soldiers here. In other words, anytime you see a price increase that dramatically, you can expect pretty much a red day the day after, right? Same thing with weeks. You go 3 strong green day weeks, really long candlesticks, then you can expect the 4th week to be red, right? It has to consolidate. Bitcoin's doing the exact same thing right now. By the way, Bitcoin is kind of stuck on stupid right now at about 61,000, so that's kind of the update there. It's kind of just testing that key level of support. I think there's a strong chance we're going to see a bounce to the upside. So LRC, let's go ahead and look at some of the normal stuff. What we're hoping for is for this RSI to bounce off of 70 and continue the upside. That may happen. We'll see. Good news is the price did currently, or just recently rather, bounce off the support level about 105. Okay, so that's awesome news. So we're looking pretty good there for LRC in the big picture. I don't think the moving averages are going to be anywhere close. Let's not worry about that. Looking at the 4-hour chart, the 50-day simple moving average is kind of working its way up to potentially add some support. But as you can see here, look at that. 8 hours in a row we've seen so far 106, more so 106 as a strong support level, kind of reaffirming that. That was a previous resistance level too, so bear that in mind. MACD is kind of diverging, which is pretty standard right now. We could see that reverse here soon if the price continue to kind of go sideways for some time, but that's not really anything to worry about. What's great though is the RSI bouncing off 50. This is fantastic. And what's interesting too is, the 50 on the RSI oftentimes correlates with a very strong key level of support, which we're seeing at the 106. Okay, so 106 is effectively 50 on the RSI, if that makes any sense. So that's kind of what's going on there. Those are good things, right? So even though we have more so bearish divergence, we can see this is kind of testing the level of support, holding strong, so we might be in the clear. And I say might because there's random off chance that Bitcoin could sell down to 58,000, and we're going to lose the support if that happens. Okay. No matter how much we like to believe that coins like this are independent of Bitcoin, they're still very much reliant on it, right? This whole section is likely because of Bitcoin, not necessarily Loopring consolidating. Even though they kind of are synonymous in a way because it had to consolidate, it probably wouldn't have consolidated as far as it did if it wasn't for Bitcoin. If that makes any sense, right? So Bitcoin was trending towards 70,000 right now. Loopring would be probably closer to about $3 or $4. There's just no doubt about it. All right, so anyways, that's kind of big picture here for 4 hours. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 1-hour chart. And we can see a nice little reversal here. You can pretty much look at it. Obviously, you can see TD sequentials kind of come into fruition here. In other words, anytime you see a 9 on the chart, look at tried to push up to a 9, it got rejected out and came down to another 9. In other words, you have 9 hours of bullish or bearish momentum for TD sequential. There's usually a reversal that's going to happen soon. It may not reverse to the upside. It may just reverse and go sideways and kind of get a bunch of resets. But the bottom line here is that we have this reset on the counter, and we have potential of 6 more hours of bullish momentum. Now, I want you to understand this. With the price coming up as quickly as it did, even though it came down fairly quick as well, you need to note that anytime a price shoots up that high and comes down, it takes longer to recover, right? So you should not expect Loopring to jump up to $1.80 tomorrow. That's not how it's supposed to work. Again, these coins have been kind of defying the laws of trading, but generally speaking, that's the concept, right? Imagine falling down a flight of stairs. I'm sure my current patrons are like, oh, I know where he's going with this. But yeah, dude, imagine you fall down a flight of stairs. It's gonna hurt like hell. You're probably gonna break some bones. You're gonna maybe be in a wheelchair, neck brace. You may not even be able to walk again. That's what happened to Loopring. It jumped up so quick that it had to come crashing back down, right? And it came down to that 50% mark. This is the exact halfway point. That's why Fibonacci has a 0.5 on it, because that halfway point is a very common retracement. That being said, imagine Loopring had slowly edged its way up, right? What if a Loopring did one of these? we'd be in much better shape right now. The price would still be moving up. BNB did that, 3 or 4 months ago as like a sleeper. It went from like 250 to 600. Nobody saw it coming because it's just gaining 5 to 15% per day. When these things happen, yeah, it draws a lot of attention and it creates chaos, but it's not the chaos you want. So just note, this will likely not recover as quickly as you want it to. Just to be real. All right, so all that aside, let's go with a potential if and when it were to increase back up again, right? What does that look like? Well, let's see. Best case scenario, I would say by probably just loosely year-end, but more so November. I would say November is probably realistic still for this to happen, because if we get a good steady consolidation period here, we'd be in much better shape. I do think Bitcoin in the next couple of weeks will be testing its key level resistance at 67,000. So, that being said, I think we're going to see right around 254 by month end for LRC, but we do need a lot of sideways action, some consolidation, a little bit of reprieve before we can see that, right? So just be prepared for that. It's not going to bounce back right away. If it does, expect it to fall back down again. That's just the natural law of how it's going to work. But I think we're in good shape here. This support level is holding very strong at 106. And I think we're going to start just keep testing resistance levels as we progress upwards. The one last thing I forgot to look at is the Ishimoku cloud. Okay, that's pretty much far away anyways. Doesn't matter all that much. But generally speaking, the key here is to understand that when the price is above the cloud, it's a buy signal. It's below the cloud right now. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a sell signal. You don't have to sell because we're holding support. But you may not want to add to your position until the price continues sideways and gets above the actual cloud again, and then you're in bullish momentous trend. You're in bull town essentially, if there is such a thing. All right, so that's just kind of what I want you to help understand. Help you understand that. So obviously, we'll go ahead and keep a close eye on this moving forward. Thank you so much for joining me here. If you're not already a patron, please consider checking that out. We have a limited amount of seats just based on the demand and the fact that the price is increasing next month. You can lock in your rate this month if you consider that. Check that out in your own time, of course. It's not for everyone, but if you just want to become a better trader or you need a leg up and want to be able to follow my trades, I send out signals for every single trade that I take. Awesome experience. Check it out in your time. But thank you so much again for joining me here. I do appreciate you all very much. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. You all take care. Thank you.